Hi everybody. Today I'm going to provide you a mini lecture on the history of child psychopathology and just how it is that we have come to where we're at today. Understanding psychopathology in general is pretty complicated when it comes to children. Because teachers, parents, and children themselves are often confused about whether a particular pattern of feelings, thoughts, and behaviors are actually disordered. So we find ourselves asking, is this normal for children, or is this a dysfunctional behavior that requires intervention? And it does, first it requires an understanding that there are a lot of different states between what we consider normal development and abnormal development. So that needs to be taken into consideration. We also have to keep in mind that models of childhood and child development have been largely influenced by changing historical ideas of how we view children. So for example, early writings often suggest that in early Greece and in ancient Greek and Roman societies, children were considered servants of the state. And also at this time, the young or the old who had any kind of physical or mental handicap or deformity was seen as an economic burden and a social embarrassment. And sometimes they were actually put to death. Before the 18th century, children's mental health concerns were very seldom mentioned in professional literature or any other forms of communication. And of course, during the 17th, 18th centuries, many children actually died before their 5th birthdays. I mean, this was a time when we didn't have antibiotics or other drugs to treat illnesses. In addition to that, many children were subjected to harsh treatment of neglect by parents. In fact, the Massachusetts Stubborn Child Act of 1654 permitted parents to actually put the stubborn children to death if they were misbehaving. Things did change in Western society during the 17th century, where a philosophy of human care and institutions of social protection started to appear. John Locke was really at the forefront of this kind of thinking, and he stood for individual rights, and he believed that children needed to be treated with care and rational thought instead of neglect and harsh treatment. So today, many contemporary theorists, researchers, and clinicians do emphasize that a useful model of normal development requires a very dynamic appreciation of both children's strengths and weaknesses. So a model like this takes into account the idea that we are complex as individuals, and there are a number of forces that act on us individually, family forces, ethnic and cultural forces, as well as social beliefs about desirable and undesirable outcomes for children.